So in this episode of this reality show that we have in the White House called The Apprentice White House Edition, because every day it seems like it's a reality show and all of us is a part of the reality show, unfortunately. So in this week's drama, you have Jefferson Beauregard Sessions, your Attorney General, the one that Coretta Scott King wrote and say this man do not need to be a federal judge because he is racist as hell, and they agreed with that, and that's why he didn't become a federal judge. But now he is your Attorney General of the United States of America and trying to wage war on black people once again by trying to give black people harsher sentences more than what prosecutors want to give. Well, he was brought in today to be questioned with the Russia probe that's been going on all over the country. And he was questioned by Senator Kamala Harris out of California. Now, the background with her, she was the Attorney General for a long while out of California. So her line of questioning, when you hear it, is going to sound like a prosecutor grilling someone on the stand. Now, the two things I want you to pay attention to: his body language, how he looks at her, his smirks, and how they all get on code to protect each other. Just make sure you write that down as you listen to this.
Attorney General Sessions, you have several times this afternoon prefaced your responses by saying, to the best of your recollection. Just on the first page of your 3 pages of written testimony, you wrote, "Nor do I recall, do not have recollection, do not remember it." So my question is, for any of your testimony today, did you refresh your memory with any written documents, be they your calendar, written correspondence, emails, notes of any sort?
I attempted to refresh my recollection, but so much of this is in a wholesale campaign of extraordinary nature that you're moving so fast that you don't keep notes. You meet people. I didn't keep notes of my conversation with the Russian ambassador at the Republican
I'd like
convention.
to just talk about what you did.
You know, I'm just saying I didn't keep notes on most of these things, and there's nothing for me.
Will you provide this committee with the notes that you did maintain?
As appropriate, I will supply the committee with documents.
Can you please tell me what you mean when you say appropriate?
I would have to consult with lawyers in the department who know the proper procedure before disclosing documents that are held within the Department of Justice.
Attorney General
I'm not
Sessions.
able to make that opinion today.
Sir, I'm sure you prepared for this hearing today, and most of the questions that have been presented to you were predictable. So my question to you is, did you then review with the lawyers of your department, if you as the top lawyer are unaware, what the law is regarding what you can share with us and what you cannot share with us, what is privileged and what is not privileged?
We discussed the basic parameters of testimony. I frankly have not discussed documentary disclosure rules.
Will you make a commitment to this committee that you will share any written correspondence, be they your calendars, records, notes, emails, or anything that has been reduced at any point in time in writing to this committee where legally you actually have an obligation to do so?
I'll commit to reviewing the rules of the department, and as and when that issue is raised, to respond appropriately.
Did you have any communications with Russian officials for any reason during the campaign that have not been disclosed in public or to this committee?
I don't recall it, but I have to tell you, I cannot testify to what was said as we were standing at the Republican convention before the podium where I spoke.
My question is only as it relates to your knowledge.
I don't have the detailed memory of that.
Okay, as it relates to your knowledge. Did you have any communication with any Russian businessmen or any Russian nationals?
I don't believe I had any conversation with Russian businessmen or Russian nationals.
Are you aware of any communications?
A lot of people were at the convention. It's conceivable that somebody came up to me.
Sir, I have just a few.
Will you let me qualify it? If I don't qualify it, you'll accuse me of lying. So I need to be correct as best I can.
I do want you to be honest.
And I'm not able to be rushed this fast. It makes me nervous.
Are you aware of any communications with other Trump campaign officials and associates that they had with Russian officials or any Russian nationals?
I don't recall that.
And are you aware of
At this moment.
Are you aware of any communications with any Trump officials, or did you have any communications with any officials about Russia or Russian interests in the United States before January 20th?
No, I may have had some conversations, and I think I did, with the general strategic concept of the possibility of whether or not Russia and the United States could get on a more harmonious relationship and move off the hostility. The Soviet Union did, in fact, collapse. It's really a tragic strategic event that we're not able to get along better than we
Before
are
being
today.
sworn in as Attorney General, how did you typically communicate with then-candidate or President-elect Trump?
Would you repeat that?
Before you were sworn in as Attorney General, how did you typically communicate with then-candidate or President-elect Trump?
I did not
communicate
submit
in writing?
memoranda. I did not make formal presentations.
Did you ever communicate with him in writing?
I don't believe so.
And you referred to a longstanding DOJ policy. Can you tell us what policy it is you're talking about?
Well, I think most cabinet people, as the witnesses you had before you earlier, those individuals declined to comment because we're all about conversations with the president.
Sir, I'm just asking you about the DOJ policy you referred to.
Policy that goes beyond just the Attorney General.
Is that policy in writing somewhere?
I think so.
So did you not consult it before you came before this committee, knowing we would ask you questions about
Well,
it?
we talked about it. The policy is based...
Did you ask that it would be shown to you?
The policy is based on the principle that the president...
Sir, I'm not asking about the principle. I'm asking when you
Well, I'm
knew that you
unable
would be
to
asked
answer the
these
question.
questions and you would rely on that policy. Did you not ask your staff to show you the policy that would be the basis for you refusing to answer the majority of questions that have been asked
Chairman, a witness should be allowed
of you?
to answer the question.
Senators will allow the chair to control the hearing. Senator Harris, let him answer.
Please do.
Time's expired.
Thank you.
We talked about it, and we talked about the real principle that's at stake. It's one that I have some appreciation for, as having spent 15 years in the Department of Justice, 12 as United States Attorney, and that principle is that the Constitution provides the head of the executive branch certain privileges, and that members, one of them is confidentiality of communications. And it is improper for agents of any department any departments in the executive branch to waive that privilege without a clear approval
Mr. Chairman,
of the president.
I have asked
and that's the situation
Mr.
we're in.
Sessions for a yes or no. Did you ask
So
your
the
staff
answer is
to see
yes,
the
I
policy?
consulted.
Did you ask your staff to
Senator's
see the
time's
policy?
expired.
Apparently
Senator
not.
Cornyn.
Now, when I was going around the internet looking at the comments, of course, the Caucasians who hate black people was angry about the questioning of Jefferson Sessions. Did you hear him say that he was scared? What are you scared of? Scared to tell the truth? You can't stand when a very smart black woman question you? And it's simple questions. She wasn't asking you the theory of relativity or something. It was yes or no questions, and you could not answer that. You were being grilled over and over and over. You had that look. And see, I know that look because I lived in the South for a long time. He had that look like, how dare this woman questioning me like that? Black people, you know that look that they have. They want to call you an so bad, but they just holding it in. I know at home, he probably called her all kind of at home. This NB, this who she thinks she is, questioning me, that sort of thing. And then you had the other one getting on code, trying to jump in and save him because he couldn't wiggle his way out of a lot of those questions. And this is the second time that they shut her down because they also shut her down questioning somebody else as well. They don't like that at all, to have a smart black woman questioning them. They don't like no black people questioning them, to be honest with you, especially them old school Caucasian males from the South. Between Maxine Waters and Senator Kamala Harris, they about the only two that I've seen that's really being very vocal about Donald Trump on the Democratic side. The rest of them are kind of staying quiet. They're not saying anything. And it really makes the Democratic Party look extremely weak. All that stuff they talk about Trump, but they're not saying anything about it. And it makes me believe that they actually want to go along with Donald Trump. That's why they're not saying anything, minus the two sisters who's being extremely vocal, or the other one that's just really questioning them and exposing their hand. They turned everything with this into a racial thing when this was just some questions. It had nothing to do with race. But as we stated before, with the Caucasians and how a lot of them, not all, but a lot of them believe everything is racial. You don't question me because I'm Caucasian. You don't think ill of me because I'm Caucasian. You don't bring me to task because I'm Caucasian. I mean, I can go through a list of things that you don't supposed to do to them as black people because they don't think that you're equal to them. That's why they say that sort of thing. But at the end of the day, we don't live our lives in the opinion of Caucasians who hate us. We live our lives according to our rules and our standards, and we definitely hold our heads up high, and there's nothing them people could say to me or to you to make us feel any different, especially when you have knowledge of self. Because once you have knowledge of self, that's when the power really begins. So shout out to Senator Kamala Harris for putting his feet to the fire. I like to see him squirm like that. He's so big and bad, but yet he say he's scared. You scared of a woman questioning you? That says a lot. But he is the Attorney General of the United States. You know what? Donald Trump said recently that he would go under oath to be questioned about Russia. I hope he do it. Please, Donald Trump, do it. And let Senator Kamala Harris question you. Matter of fact, the Democrats, just don't ask him no questions no more. Give all your time to Senator Kamala Harris, since she's doing the best job out of all of y'all questioning anything. Give her your time, let her question, and then you'll really see the answers come out of this situation. Because when you lie, you can only squirm so much before the truth eventually come out. Because those who lie do a lot of double talking. And somebody who's listening very well to catch you in a lie, who's been trained in that, it don't really last very long. That's why he couldn't wait to get out of the time being questioned by Senator Kamala Harris. Maybe she'll be a person that run for president in 2020. We don't know, but she'd probably be a decent choice. Make sure you join us on Patreon for a minimum of $2 or $5 per month on Patreon. Get exclusive videos, information about the platform we don't share publicly, and also discounts on merchandise. We have some new merchandise coming, some new designs for shirts. We're working with artists now to get those things done. So make sure to join us on Patreon so you can get those discounts when those brand new shirts come out. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about this. Because did you like the questioning that Kamala Harris gave Jeff Sessions, and did he just expose himself as a liar and got saved by them being on code? Share the video, like the commentary, subscribe on News Stories.